Hey everyone, welcome to Longarm Wednesday. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, I'm going to show you how I baste a quilt on the Longarm so it can get hand stitched. Isn't that the nice of combining the two crafts together, of just getting the quilt done, whether it be Longarm, machine, or hand stitching, right? So, or tying. There's lots of extra other options too. This is actually the second time this quilt has been back. There was a little bit of when she was trying to go from one line to the next as I did the basting, it actually puckered up just a little bit. So I'm not sure if it was something I did in the first time around, so I've made sure to make sure I'm straightening it, I'm flattening it, so there's no room for any sort of pucker of fabric. So when she's hand stitching, she's not gonna end up with a little lip down here. We don't want that. So we're doing it again, and that's okay, because we wanna do it right. That's what we do here. So I've already got most of it, well, no, most of it, I'd say some of it done. And I'm just working from left to right and not doing any stitches or basting down the side. And as I'm going, I'm making sure that the top is laying nice and flat. My hands are clean. I just scrubbed them, and I've scrubbed them just before every time coming over to this project. And just making sure as I go along, I'll move a little welt over here, that I'm smoothing everything out, okay? Just nice and smooth with my hands to get it where it needs to be, so it's laying nice and flat and straight. So you can kind of see you got your clamps here to help keep your back tight, but your top needs to be very taut as well, so you know you're not going to get some weird stitches with your basting, okay? So we just have it on a base stitch of 4.5, and I chose a gold thread for the back so she can see it, but it's not going to be like blaring at you. And then a nice little, I think it's just one of the linen ones from the top. So I've been trying to space it in between 3.5 and 4 inches apart. And then just bringing the bobbin up. And then locking it in the channel. Okay. And then just going to go right across. But making sure it's nice and taut. Okay. Giving a little, I'm not yanking on the fabric, I'm just kind of making sure it's really laying flat. It's not puffy, because it did have a little puff to the lines when she brought it back. I didn't notice it when I gave it to her, so, but nonetheless, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. And you can see some of the old stitches, because hence the seam ripper was the superhero, because I had to unrip everything that I did, because I want my customer to be happy. So I'm just kind of making sure, just by doing that little scratchy or finger dance or whatever it is that people call it, to make sure things are laying nice and flat. It's going to take a little while, but it's better to get it done right and have a happy customer, because that is #1 in my books. Any of my customers can attest to that. I want my customers happy, so just take your time. You could do this on your own domestic machine too, so don't think you can't do it there. That's for sure. Because sometimes some quilts just need to be basted and then hand stitched. Okay, so I'm coming down. I'm just doing the same little stitch, but I'm doing it on the batting and the backing, so you can't see it. But I'm coming down again like another, 3.5, 4 inches, locking it on the channel, making sure my fabric is nice and taut and it's straight in the line that the previous one was. And then just slow and steady. Keep going back and forth until it's all done. I'll make sure everything's laying flat. Nice and flat. Not tugging it, not yanking it, just holding it so it's not making a little pillow or a puff or a puffy row. It wasn't the batting at all. The batting was laying nice and flat. This is all hand-dyed material that came in obviously from a craft store, and she chose to make a quilt for herself. Thank goodness, it's one of my guildmates, and she's going to hand stitch it. Nice big hand stitch. So I'm very, very excited to see this when she brings it back to one of the guild meetings when it's all done. And I'm curious of what her binding is going to be like too. So. Beautiful fabrics. I just wanted to really show you guys these lovely hand-dyed fabrics. This easy little block to put together. You can bust your scraps on this. It would be lovely. And I'm trying to make sure it's still riding within the same part of the row of it's being stitched. Like it was pretty much, you know, halfway-ish. So, and again, making sure it's nice and taut. Okay, and then we'll unlock it from that channel, bring it down 3 to 4 inches, lock it, hold this nice and taut, there we go, and then making sure it's nice and even all the way. I'm not sure if she's using a mix of threads. I think a mix of threads would be kind of fun, but, you know, one row this color, one row another color, but yeah, I don't know. So she's doing hand stitch, so I guess I just smooth it out. Make sure it's laying flat as possible. I guess I do a little finger dance. The raking, the scratching of the fabric, whatever it takes. We know as fabric users what has to happen with the hand dance sometimes in fabric. And of course those ones here will just be, as soon as it's washed, they'll just disappear, those little holes. So, love those, the green and that purple together. Ah, just woo! Hello, hello. Says hello, hello. All right, let's come down here a bit. About the same space. Lock it in. And I'm trying to use the same hand to do the raking with because, you know, this one's going from a black handle, and I don't want to any sort of, you know, transfer might happen color-wise. I don't want that. Or if my hand gets warm over here, I'd rather have just try and use it with the one hand to try and smooth things as you're going. Some very beautiful, vibrant colors. It looks like just 2.5 and 2.5 inch strips sort of thing. So it's not overly complicated, but boy, does it ever look beautiful. And look at those points. Oh, hang on. Well done, Gildy. Well done. Yeah, she just wanted a project that she could hand stitch, and so she made this up. Oh, wow, lovely. I wish I could do that too. And here, since I can't go too much further, I'm just going to lock those stitches in place, take it off that channel, come back here. Because what I did the last time, when it was here the first time, I did it as I normally would do baste a quilt. I went down the sides, across the top, and then I think that was hindering or reducing the fact that I could get that little bit of puffy from space to space. Because she wants to, like, say, here we go. Like, say if we were in a stitch, we don't want any lip. It just comes right to that stitch, right? So there's no puffiness, there's no bulkiness. Like here, that's what was almost happening, or pretty much that's actually was happening as we were going from line to line before she brought it back to me. So sometimes it was a little bit puffier than that. So I'm very glad she brought it back because I want her happy. So we just took it out, the old stitches, and this is going, I still have yet to stitch this, that's why I could show it as an example. And we're making things. It's beautiful. I'm loving it. She's gonna love it now. It looks really nice. But it's just something to learn. I think this is the second time I've actually basted a quilt on the Longarm. So, and I know I didn't have any issues like this with the first one, but that's okay. Issues arise, and this is how I fixed it. And I think it looks really good, and it's looking amazing. So I'll give you a little peek at the whole quilt top. There we go. or most of it is what you can see. Isn't that beautiful? Some stunning, stunning fabrics. Absolutely stunning. And white batting and the beautiful backing here of the grays and the blacks and the tans and, you know, just a mix, definitely a mix of fabrics. It looks beautiful. So thank you very much, Gildy, for your project. And I'm happy to finish off. And I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday. We will see you Friday because we're going to be teacher striking. So I'll be doing some cross stitching in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern my time. So I know it's a little bit way too early for some people on the West Coast, but, or even across the pond, or way, way across the pond. But I hope some will join me, and we're just continuing working on the sister little pots with the little flowers, and it's going to be fun. So thank you, everybody. Have an amazing day. We appreciate you, and thank you for liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Mom Pop Quilt Shop. Bye-bye.